that you can do that really will emphasize your playing and make you just elevate you up one step is just be aware of phrasing. Okay? The other thing is beware of volume. Nothing worse than playing too dang loud. And my mother, my whole life, turn it down, turn it down. That's all she ever said to me every time I practiced. Because when I was learning organs, we didn't have headphone jacks. That was a long time ago. No headphones. She would have given them to me, trust me. But every time I practiced, she told me I was too loud. So what makes a musician good is the louds and the soft, but it's the dynamics. It's not how soft you play or how loud you play. It's the contrast between the loud and the soft. Classical music and some of the more detailed music has crescendo marks in it, and pianissimos and fortes, and that tells you. But most music nowadays, the big note easy play, they don't tell you when to play loud and when to play soft. So you kind of have to decide yourself when to do that. All right? And that's the difference between someone who plays and someone who's a musician. All right? It's the same thing in the kitchen between the people who cook out of a box and cook from scratch. Right? You can start with a recipe, you can add to it, you can make it into your own thing. When you dress, it's the difference between dressing, stylish or dressing just plain. The same thing happens to music. It's your touch and what you put in. All right. So we talked about volume. If I play Georgia, now if you need a rule, if the notes tend to go up, you should get louder. If you look ahead, because you always should be looking ahead, if the notes come down, tend to have a downward spiral to them, then downward. Yeah, well, anyway, you know what I mean. If they go down, trajectory. If they go down, you get softer. So if I look at Georgia, up, down, up. Okay, see how I can just sit and play it, and I can alter my volume up and down any way that I want. You play songs that have just the notes of the melody written in, nothing extra. There are 4 things you can do to make your music sound amazing. Okay? Number 1. Multiply the notes. The notes that are there, and this is because I didn't have a lot of guts when I started doing this. I was afraid to add notes, because I didn't know how they'd sound if I added them. So I learned pretty quick that you could just take the existing notes that are already there and just play them more. Okay? So it goes like this. So if I'm playing Georgia, the notes that are there more times than they're written there. Now, that is a really cool hint. You just see double, triple, quadruple, doesn't matter. Don't add anything new. Just play the notes that are there more than they're there. Repeat them. Now, it's kind of cool when you do that. Okay, we're going to go slow. more notes of the ones that were there. Does that make sense? So on the first measure, I only played A's and C's, but I played them a lot.
How do you decide which note to play?
I didn't. I just did whatever I felt like. How do you know if it's right? Sometimes it sounds good, sometimes it doesn't. The coolest thing is it doesn't matter if it doesn't because you got the next measure to fix it. Alright? If you don't add your own notes and you just do that, it will never sound bad. It can't. Because you're playing the notes that the composer wrote. You're just playing more of them. Okay, I love doing that. Because when you play it, see, that to me, it sounds amazing. Well, I don't care if you think it sounds amazing. I liked it. And that's all that matters. I'm not playing for you anyway. Usually you're playing for you, yourself. Okay, 2. Number 2 is don't count. Yay! My teacher would roll over in her grave. Don't count. Play the notes late. Or play them early. I don't care. Just don't count them. Now, some people call that syncopation. You know what that is? Something you take Maalox for. Oh. Is that going on the internet?
Absolutely.
Syncopation. It's like, get an attitude. Play the note late. Play the note early. Hold it longer than it says. Be a brat. Out of sync. As soon as you get out of sync is when they think you're really good. You've been trying all these months to be in sync. They should have a group. They have a group called In Sync.
They do.
They should have one called Out of Sync.
Out of sync.
Maybe we'll make one.
That's all the rest of us.
Okay, listen. So now I'm going to add some notes like this. Okay, now I'm going to add those extra notes, but I'm going to play them whenever I feel like it. I'm not going to count. I would have loved to have told Mrs. Healsberg when I was taking lessons that I'm playing that note whenever I feel like it. And watch her just go, So you go, listen, late. 2, 3, 4, 1. It will totally change your style. Oh, aren't you excited? Yeah, well, you don't look very excited.